You've just brought your new baby home for the first time and you're full of questions. Sleep, nutrition, you wonder about everything. A recent survey found infant feeding is one of the top 3 things new moms ask about. Here to talk about those findings, board-certified pediatrician and child expert, Dr. Jamie Wells. Good morning, doctor.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
It's our pleasure. I mentioned one of the most common questions. From your point of view, what are the 3 questions new parents should ask their pediatricians?
Well, Perrigo Nutritionals did a survey of 500 pediatricians and 500 moms nationwide, and feeding was the #1 concern in terms of mom questions. And I would say that pediatricians in that survey, and myself included, would typically not want people to focus so much on 3 specific questions, more so on trying to manage their worry and find some joy in the experience, focus on the bigger things, like what should I expect in the next month? How can I enhance the development of the baby? We have so much worry today, and it's so much easier to say, hold off a little bit on that worry than it is to do, but you should always try because it is a exciting time and it should be enjoyed if possible,
right.
as much as possible.
Well, it's true, and sort of parents will say that, like, you know, down the road once their kids are grown, they'll talk to new parents, and that is their advice. They say, like, enjoy these moments because they all pass so quickly. But I do want to spend a little bit of time on feeding options. I mean, there's so much to choose from. So when it comes to buying formula specifically, what should parents look for?
Well, and there's no one in the medical community who would dispute that breastfeeding is absolutely the gold standard, but it is not a realistic option for certain families. So formula is a wonderful substitute for that, and that's a discussion that should be had with a family and their pediatrician. There are brand name formulas and there are store brand formulas that cost up to 50% less than brand name. And actually, every formula out there must meet specific rigid criteria set forth by the FDA and become nutritionally comparable as a result. So there are many options that are available, and if people want to find out more about store brand formulas, they can go to storebrandformula.com.
Everything's changing, right? This new generation, technology's affecting everything.
Yes.
And I imagine that includes what you see, something like the age-old baby checkup. So what's different today than, let's say, 30 years ago?
Well, one of the things, I think people are more focused, for me personally, I think people are more focused on a lot of the stuff and things, and are they doing everything right? There's a perfectionistic attitude about it, which sometimes makes you depart from the joy of the overall experience. In terms of the survey results, it showed that millennial pediatricians don't exactly follow the same trend as older pediatricians. Older pediatricians are a little more brand specific when it comes to formula choices. Millennial pediatricians are less brand loyal, as are new moms who are millennial moms. And that information was garnered from the survey that was just performed.
Anything either out of the survey or out of your own experience, some of the crazier questions that new parents have asked where you thought, wow, I haven't heard that before.
Well, I will say that if you practice pediatrics for any length of time, you will hear things that you've never heard before, and not necessarily in a bad way. It's always surprising that it's endless that new things can come up. In the survey itself, some pediatricians reported that people asked if they could tan their baby at a tanning salon, which I would say would be an emphatic no. Some asked if they could put soda to chocolate to camel's milk in the bottle, and that would be a no. I can't say that I got the tanning question, but people always ask about whether they can put sunscreen on a baby or not. And really, the American Academy of Pediatrics doesn't recommend that till over 6 months. Most of the questions that I've experienced are really worries about what exists in the rest of the world. Is it going to impact the baby? But there's never something that I want people to think is crazy or too crazy to ask their doctor. And if they do feel reluctant to ask their doctor, they should change doctors. And no doctor really focuses on any level of crazy. We don't look at it that way.
Well, and the point is, ask the question. Even if you feel silly, still ask it. Doctor, some good information here this morning. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much.
It's our pleasure. Mike, over to you.